says Parashat Hashavua, Vayakhel-Pekudei. We're going to take another Torah Bezrat Hashem with a paragraph about the red cow. According to some Chachamim, Hashem wants us to read it. Even though there is no sign in the Torah about it, but Tosfot said it, other Chachamim, they say maybe Hashem wants us to come to the Knesset to hear it from the Torah. Not just to think about it and to know about it, just to hear about the halachot of the red cow. The paragraph starts, דבר השם משה ואל אהרון לאמור זאת חוקת התורה. One of a few places the Kadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe and Aaron together. And the Gemara said that paragraph was said on the day that Moshe opened the Mishkan. Says the Gemara, on that day Hashem spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu 15 times. One of the times is about the red cow. He tells him you should know is halacha about the red cow. And the Gemara said they had the red cow. And the following day, on the second day of Chodesh Nisan, they slaughter it and they burn it. And they took the ashes, mixed it with water, sprinkled on the people and it was born pure. Since Chachamim say that Bezrat Hashem this year we're going to do Korban Pesach and Hamikdash, Amen. So therefore, Chachamim said, you know what? Before comes Pesach, read the paragraph about the red cow. That in case the Hamikdash is going to come down, then you should know that you have to be pure and prepared to walk in with Hamikdash. So you need a red cow. Says the Gemara, until today, they slaughtered 9 red cows. Not necessarily all of them were, probably all of them were good. There's a machloket about other ones. Asirit, says the Rambam, Yaseh Melech HaMashiach v'Rabbi Minu Amen. So if you see a red cow, and this is all the halachot of the red cow, cannot have any black on it. If she has two black hairs, the whole thing is pasul. You have to go with a magnifying glass and look. Then you take it and you slaughter it, and then you burn it, and then you mix the ashes with the water from a spring, and then you sprinkle on the person that touched the dead person, who was in the cemetery, was in the same house with the dead person, and then is qualified, is eligible to go into Beit HaMikdash. Therefore, Chachamim said this is the halacha of the red cow. Says the Gemara, well, you know, the Mishnah said, it's our custom that next week is Rosh Chodesh. And next week we'll take 3 Torot, Bezrat Hashem. One will be the Parashat Hashavua, it's going to be Parashat Vayikra, and then it's going to be a paragraph about Rosh Chodesh, and then Parashat HaChodesh. Parashat HaChodesh talks about Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So ask the Gemara Yerushalmi, excuse me, why this week's Parashat? This week we're going to read about about the red cow. Actually, the red cow was done after Rosh Chodesh. The Gemara says the reason why we have to read it this Shabbat, even though it's time to read it in 2 weeks. The Gemara says, you know, this is the purity of Am Yisrael. So Chachamim said, you know what? We did it before, even though the time should be after. To tell you how much you have to worry about our purity, that people should be pure. So we read the paragraph. As we said before, some Chachamim said, Hashem wants us to hear the paragraph. Obviously, it's a very important Shabbat. The question is, what is really behind this red cow business? So the Gemara says, you know, a red cow is called a law without explanation. Says the Gemara, only Moshe Rabbeinu was taught and told by Kadosh Baruch Hu the reason for the red cow. Even Shlomo HaMelech, says the Gemara, it was the smartest ever, almost figure out everything. This is one of the things he could not figure out. He says, I don't understand what the whole thing is all about. Chachamim explains, says really, that's what Hashem wants from us. Hashem wants us to obey this mitzvah, even though the Gemara says in time of Hamikdash after, the Goyim used to make fun of us. What is this business? This looks like a magic. You take a red cow, it has to be red, burn it, slaughter it, burn it, sprinkle on people. He said it's this kind of voodoo. It's kind of voodoo. He said, no. It's something Hashem told us, we cannot understand it, we'll never understand. Maybe Mashiach will come, some opinions say that we'll know what is behind. But the Gemara says the other thing is that Hashem wants us to know that we got to do it, it's chok. It's a law without explanation. Of course, explanation means emunah in HaKadosh. B'ezrat Hashem, in 4 weeks is Pesach. We say in Tefillah, Zman Cherutenu. You know, Pesach is coming, everybody knows. We sit down, we enjoy. So what is this? We came out of Egypt. Came out of Egypt. It's a holiday. It's a holiday. We're free. It's called, we say in the Tefillah, Zman Cherutenu. This is the time that we were free. That's a simple explanation, of course, everybody knows we were slaves in Egypt. And Baruch Hashem, we got free. But the Gemara tells us you should know, when Yaakov Avinu went out of his house, he was to Lavan's house, he had a dream. And in his dream he saw a ladder. And he saw angels going up and down on the ladder. Says the Gemara, which angels? The Gemara said, well, first Yaakov saw that somebody climbs on the ladder, was an Egyptian guy. He says, who is this? This is the angel of Egypt. And he went up there and he came down. After this one came another angel. Who is this angel? It's the angel of Iraq, of Bavel. The nation that destroyed first Beit HaMikdash. Then he came down. And he saw the third one. It's the Greece. A Greek one. Represent Greece. Also he sees he goes up, then he goes down. Then you see the last one, the Roman. He sees him goes up, but he doesn't see him go down. Says the Gemara, you should know, Hashem hinted to us in the Torah a few times. In the first chapter and the first paragraph in Sefer Bereshit, Aretz et atov bavo v'choshech apnei tehom, says the Gemara, that sentence really reflects the exiles that Am Yisrael would go, and we did. And we are. It means like this. Chas shalom, for example. Doesn't matter what the reason is, somebody was put in jail. Got out of jail. Baruch Hashem, he had a good lawyer. Last celebration every year, he came out. In the meantime, all of a sudden he did something else. We got into another jail. And he got free. And then he was put again in another jail. Then he got free. But then he's still in jail now. So in jail, he wants to celebrate the first freedom he had from jail. He says, excuse me, you in jail now? Boy, no, I need some, Shiva sprinkle, tequila. He said, what's the holiday? He says, you know what? 2,000 years ago, I was in jail. I was in Egypt. And we got free from Paro. And then what happened to you? You went to Eretz Israel, and you built Beit HaMikdash. And what happened to you? Came Mach Shimon Zaradan and Nebuchadnezzar and destroyed Beit HaMikdash and killed almost all of us, besides 15,000 people. And then came Mordechai and took us to Eretz Israel. And then with Ezra, and then we built the second Beit HaMikdash. And then we had the Greeks, that we almost got vanished. And Baruch Hashem, the Hashmonaim saved us. And then we got the Romans. And we're still in exile. We're still not here. We're still not in the right place. So it's a celebration. Pesach is coming, he says, Baruch Hashem, Matzah Shadanu Ochlim Al Shumah, the way of Matzah, Hashem saved you. Where are you now? Rigo Park. In Rigo Park. So you're in exile. You're Beit HaMikdash, you know. So what's the celebration? It says, Man Cherutenu. We say yes in Tefillah, Pesach, the time of freedom. What's freedom? Yes, true. You got free, but you got back in jail. Not once. 3 times afterwards. And Hashem hinted this in Sefer Bereshit already, in the second sentence. The second sentence says the Gemara, "Ve'aretz hayta tohu ba'vohu," earth was deserted. Ve'choshech apnei tehom, the Torah says, the Gemara says, hints, listen, Am Yisrael, you're going to end up Egypt, after Egypt, Iraq, Babel, after Babel, Paras, after this, Edom. This is what happened. So what's the celebration? Pesach is coming. The opposite. The opposite. You should remember, listen, the war in Egypt, Hashem took us for nothing. Most of us died in the desert. Just before we left, 2.4 million people died in Makat Choshech. So the whole thing is a big tragedy. What a celebration. Whoever came out of Egypt never got to Israel. 2 people, Yoshua and Caleb. All the rest died in the desert. The rest, between age 20 and 60, died 3 days before we left Egypt. Maybe 2 days before we left Egypt. In bed. So, you have to say Kaddish in the Leila Seder. What's a celebration? For what? Some Chachamim tell us you should know Mashiach is going to come on Leila Seder. Mashiach can come any day. But if we say the probably that day of Pesach most probably is more energy in the day for Mashiach to come. He can come any moment. Coming out of exile, night of Pesach. So why? It's a designated night. It's a Gemara. This is the first time the Gemara tells us about Avraham Avinu. He was notified that his brother-in-law, his nephew Lot, was kidnapped the night of Pesach. He went and he ran, and he was able to release him from captivity. This was the night of Pesach. So you're wondering, you see what it has to do with this? He's going, well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it this way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Abraham Avinu, listen, Vayakhel-Pekudei Laila, says the Gemara, Hashem writes in the Torah, Abraham chased them, and he won until midnight. Says the Gemara, what is it about? It's so important about midnight? I said, well, let me tell you, in Egypt you're here, and we're going to learn in the Torah that on midnight, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to kill all the elderly in Egypt, all the older ones, and then power is going to come out, and it's going to tell us, get out of Egypt. And then the Rabbi says, Shemir Mamilela, Shemir Mamilel, this is that night is designated for redemption. This is, well, we're waiting already 5,000 and change. Where is he? What is the problem? Again matzah, again maro, Bet HaMikdash, Ashata Acha, Ashana Babar Al Yisrael. No sign. Probably we don't do something that we have the zechut, the merit to come out. I like to know what is really behind it. What is the kavanah? Zman Cherutenu, the time of redemption, if we're not redeemed right now and we fell into the pot immediately after. Torah tells us, you know, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, you know, on midnight, the night of Pesach, I'm going to pass in Egypt. And he gave us the mitzvah to go slaughter a sheep or a goat, 1 year old, and take the blood and put the blood around the door. As well, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu if you do Brit Milah. And then the Torah says Hashem is going to pass through Egypt, and he's going to kill the oldest ones, the Egyptians, and whoever has this sign on the door, then Hashem will skip the house. So, but you have to put this sign in from the inside, not from the outside. You have to look at it. And Hashem will see from outside that you look at it. Hashem said, okay, you're coming out. Don't come outside, stay in the house, you have to look at the blood, and then this will give you a ticket a passport, you may leave the country. The question is, what is really behind it? What does Hashem want from us? And then comes the Mishnah and tells us, Rabbi Gamliel says that you have to know on Pesach, on Leila Seder, you have to remember to say 3 crucial things. It's called Pesach, Matzah, and Maror. And it says Hashem told us to bring a sacrifice. Pesach, Matzah, Hashem skipped on the houses. And Hashem wants us to eat matzah and maror, the matzah. It's the Gemara matzah, you know what matzah is? You have to have, it's crucial to have it. Matzah means that actually when we left Egypt, we took the leftover dough. And then we put it on our head, and instead it should become bread, became matzah. The sun baked it. It became matzah. So therefore you eat matzah. Somebody gets you, matzot to Pesach you have? Yeah, $20 a pound. I says, why do you pay so much? I said, why you eat matzah on Pesach? Because after we left Pesach, then we had some leftover dough. And they took that leftover dough, it's after Pesach already. It's after we left. It's the following morning. So, Hashem baked the dough and became matzah. Therefore, I eat matzah the night before. The night before you eat matzah. If you eat the day after. No. Leila said that you have matzah in your hand, you have to know I'm going to eat it, because after we left Egypt, the following day, the dough that we took, Hashem baked it and became matzah, and that dough, that matzah, was sufficient, was enough for us for the next 30 days. For this, we have matzah and Leila Seder. So what is this? Come Chachamim Rabotai and tell us a big secret. A big secret. So, the Gemara says, the Mishnah says, any place people go and pray and learn, Hashem comes there. Hashem is there. Hashem is everywhere. But the Gemara says, the Mishnah says, you sit down and you study by yourself, you learn Torah by yourself, you study with somebody else, you go to Shiur, Hashem is there. Nevertheless, Hashem is everywhere. So Chachamim says it depends, we can say, if you want to translate it to your language, depends how much Hashem comes, how much the Shekhinah is. For example, the Gemara says you have 22,000 people. It's a big Shekhinah. You have 600,000 people. You have a bigger Shekhinah. You have 2 people, small, 1, smaller. But entity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem so-called spread himself, and Hashem so-called squeeze himself in. Say Chachamim, you should know a secret. There's a mitzvah in the Torah. It's one of the 630 mitzvot. You can't go back to live in Egypt. You're allowed to visit Egypt. You go to climb on the pyramids. You go to the place Rabbi Hatzira is buried. But somebody wants to move to Egypt. Not allowed to. Not allowed to move to Egypt. Not allowed to live over there. Rabbi used to write in his letters, when he wrote letters to people around the world, he said, every day I'm here, I'm doing a sin. Not allowed to live in Egypt. So why not to Egypt? What's wrong with Egypt? Says the Ari, I tell you what it is. In a way, actually when HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Egypt, HaKadosh Baruch Hu also picked himself up and left Egypt with us. That when we came down to Egypt, Yaakov Avinu took his children and grandchildren and got to Egypt, Hashem said, you know what? I'm coming along with you. And the whole time we were in Egypt, says the Gemara, Hashem was there. The Shekhinah was there. But not a small Shekhinah. Major part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was there in Egypt. Not only HaKadosh Baruch Hu went to Egypt, says the Zohar, angels, but the thousands, but the hundreds of thousands went down to Egypt as well. Together with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And says the Zohar, the Neshamot of Yaakov Avinu, the Shevatim, came down to Egypt as well. So we all were in Egypt together with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shekhinah. Actually, when we left, I said, this is really what the Torah tells us, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu left along with us. This is the only time Hashem went with us and left with us. All the other exiles that we had, Hashem did not go with us, so-called in the major part of the Hashem of the Shekhinah, and Hashem doesn't say he came back with us. Never. One time happened. Zman cherutenu. A person has to know what happened. Pesach, what happened? Let me tell you what happened. We were in Egypt slaves. Baruch Hashem, Hashem took us out. That's not called redemption. It's partially redemption. Because after a few hundred years, again, we went to exile. And then we came back, again we went to exile. We're still in exile. But one time, you know what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we were able, so-called, to invite him and take him out of the place that he was with us. That's the only time. It's called Zman Cherutenu. It's our redemption, our. What do you mean, me and my friend? No. It's me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That we were able, so-called, to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, come with us. Says Daniel, you know what? Never go to live in Egypt. He said, what is this? The Shekhinah is not there anymore. Hashem left completely. It's empty. There's no Shekhinah. There's Shekhinah, yes, in America. There's a Shekhinah everywhere in the world. Yes, there is. Small amount of Shekhinah. Small amount of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But not in Egypt. Hashem left Egypt completely. Hashem is not there. That's what the Torah gives us. One of the mitzvot, you cannot live in it. You may visit Egypt, yes, on the condition to come back. But somebody is going to pack up his suitcase and says, I'm moving to Egypt. He does a sin. Every moment he's there, on his file upstairs says, sin. You're not allowed to live in Egypt. Not allowed. This is really the secret of this Chag. What happened on Pesach? Not we left Egypt. All of us with the Shekhinah left Egypt. So I want to tell you something. I want you to know. Let me tell you something. Actually, we left Egypt in the morning. So everybody took his leftover dough and took it along. And you know what Hashem did? Hashem made that everybody's dough will be a matzah, not bread. You know why? Because it means that Hashem is out with you together. It means, Baruch Hashem, not that Hashem made us the miracle, and He was there, and we were there, and He made this miracle happen. No, He is coming along with us. Zacharti lach chesed ne'orayich. Hashem tells Yirmiyahu, go tell them, I remember the kindness that you did to me. What kindness? Kindness? We did kindness to Hashem? Yes, we did. Whoever did not want to leave Egypt died. Why? Why did he die? He doesn't. He only wants to stay in America. So he has a store, Main Street, or office, Manhattan. So he send donation. There's one problem. That when Mashiach will come, not us will leave to Jerusalem. Hashem is going to go along with us. V'shav Hashem et shvutcha. Says the Gemara, Kadosh Baruch Hu, when we going to say we want to take Hashem, Hashem, says the Gemara, will hold our hands and will take us to Eretz Yisrael. But we want first that Hashem should come out of exile. Not we want to go to Israel. Yes, we in French. All of us, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we want to go to Israel. Not without HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in exile. It's called Zman Cherutenu. You know what it means? It means Pesach, Hashem designated this day, this night, for us to take him, to say we want our Papa to go with us to Eretz Yisrael. That's the job. It's not, Baruch Hashem can go to Eretz Yisrael, Baruch Hashem to Mikdash. Where is Hashem? Where is Hashem? He's everywhere. I know he's everywhere. But when we went to exile, Hashem went to exile as well. And Hashem is there. So you have to have the merit to take him back to Eretz Yisrael. I'm moving to Israel. Very nice. Where is your Papa? You know what the Gemara says? The Gemara says, let me tell you something, the Gemara says. ויאמר השם אל אברהם, לך לך מארצך מולדתך מבית אביך. Says the Torah tells you, listen, Hashem told Abraham, go to Eretz Yisrael. Says the Gemara, the last sentence before, it says, Vayamot terach becharan. Terach died. Says the Gemara, hold it. How old is Abraham now? He's going to Israel.
75.
How old is he?
75.
Abraham knows everything. He's Georgian. 75. How old is Terach? What do you don't know? He's Georgian. What do you don't know?
Around 300. 295.
Terach is 145. Terach had Abraham when he was 70. 70 plus 75, how much is it? $145. So when the Torah tells you Abraham left Haran, Syria, he's going to Israel, Torah says he is 75 years old. Read the sentence before. It says, Terach died. Terach died. Terach died. Terach didn't die. Terach's going to die another 65 years. So why the Torah wrote that Terach is dead when Hashem tells Abraham to go to Israel? He says, you know why? Because he may not leave Papa behind. He says, but you did. The Gemara says, no, but Terach at the time, he had a store downtown Manhattan. He sold statues. So therefore Hashem said to Terach, to Abraham, go. His father is selling idols, forget about it. Otherwise, you may not leave Papa behind. Unless Papa tells you, go. Or something else.